I got up at sunrise today to show you guys the sun, but you missed it. It was pretty. It doesn't have to be sunrise for me to show you the sun. I don't know. I just have ideas sometimes. But anyways, there's the sun.
Minions! Tonight we steal
The sun. So my client has reason to believe that you're plotting to steal the sun.
No. I can explain.
Okay, so we're not stealing the sun per se. That kind of sounds like something you'd say if you were planning to steal the sun.
Hey, I promise I'm not done yet.
But we are going to be harvesting its energy. I haven't used one of these since like middle school. But I have this digital multimeter. Hold on. Could you tell the story without wind?
I don't control the wind.
So we're just going to make sure that the solar panels work. So I set my multimeter to read DC volts, and I checked the connectors, the open circuit voltage, the specs that came with the panel. It's supposed to be about 24.4, so we're getting some good sun here. We're close to that. And then I set to cutting some coroplast. It's kind of got some air spaces flowing all the way through it. It just gives a way for the solar panels to be able to breathe. Because there's some instances that I was finding where solar panels, they give off a lot of heat, and if they're directly on the metal of your van, this can reduce the life of your solar panels, or it can burn the roof of your van, which would not be great. I wanted to make sure it had some airflow in there. And then I cleaned off the roof of the van, and as you can see, my van also has some ridges, which I think will help with airflow. I used some water and then some acetone. Hey, someone thinks they're cool.
They probably are.
Yeah. So then I wanted to glue the solar panels onto the coroplast, which it didn't work very well. The glue didn't last very long. But I did end up zip tying it and taping it down eventually, as you will see. And this is my sister still trying to figure out how to work a camera. And then here we are gluing the solar panels to the roof. I think the glue between the van and the coroplast held better than between the panels and the coroplast. And then here's a box I set up to catch metal shavings for the next step. So the sun should be setting in less than an hour. So I'm gonna try to put 2 holes in my van really quick. I hope these are the last 2 holes that I put in my van, but it's for the wires running from the solar panels down to the battery bank. All right, more holes. I'm getting the sense that like the theme of a van build is just holes. Like all it is holes. Just so many holes. It's a lot of holes. Like a peephole to the outside world. You know, when you gotta check on the trees. this solar cable. I ended up buying a solar extension cable and cutting off, so I made sure the ends match up with the positive and negative. I wanted the red to be positive and the black to be negative. So I made sure that the MC4 connectors up top match to the correct cord. And then I cut off these ends so that I could string it through the roof of the van. But now that we're in here, I need to put an MC4 connector on these ends again so that I can plug it into the MC4 connectors on this piece right here. And this is going to plug into my Blue Eddy that I have that you will see soon, I'm sure. But yeah, so that is how the solar panels are going to charge my Blue Eddy power bank. I bought this fire extinguisher because it would be good to have in the van eventually anyways, and I'm going to be working on electrical, so I was like, why not? Not because I don't trust myself, but in the event that I have trusted myself too much, you know? So these are still the solar cable with the aluminum wires. I just duct taped this entry gland to the roof for now. I'm really glad I hadn't glued it yet, because yeah, I think I'm going to be ordering some different cables.
What's this about aluminum wires? Oh, that's because I ordered a solar cable and online the description said it was tinned copper. But when it arrived and I cut into it to like crimp the connectors on, it was aluminum, and I really wanted tinned copper, so.
I hadn't put the Eternabond tape on because, yeah, it felt like a commitment and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to take it back off. But yesterday I found a good video for how to remove Eternabond tape. So it's almost like, it's Eternabond, it's not Eternal Bond. Like they give you that little fraction of hope that I don't know, the bond, it's eterna. It's not eternal. So I don't know, I feel better putting it on there now that I have a pretty good idea of how to take it off if I need to. So I just went through all the trouble of replacing the old solar cable with the new solar cable. And now that I've looked at two solar cables claiming to be tinned copper, I think they were both tinned copper. Yeah, so it was, you know, some extra work to learn that lesson, but now we know what tinned copper looks like. I guess I had been confused because, so this is the old cable, and when you look at it, you can see, like, it has like a copper glow on the end. Sure. I don't remember exactly. Surely I must have seen that before. Like right now I'm looking at it and it seems pretty clear that it's tinned copper. But when you cut into it, it's silver because it's coated in tin, so the inside should be copper. But it was, especially, I mean, it depends on the angle. Like, it just looks very silver. And so then I was a little suspicious, and I was like, so I had ordered it on Amazon, and I went back and I looked at the comment section, specifically at the 1-star ratings, and there were a couple people on there that said that this came as aluminum wire rather than tin copper. So I was thinking that it was aluminum, but now I'm thinking that it is correct. And you can't always believe everything you read on the internet. So, yeah. Guess now I have a backup wire. So, I'm gonna plug in this and just make sure that it is charging the Bluetti. And if it's not, then maybe I did something wrong. So, there we go. Moment of truth. Ooh. The watt input is increasing. I don't know how well you can see this. Right now we're putting out about 12 volts and taking in about 12 watts, taking in about 3 watts. So I guess the open circuit voltage is about 40 right now, but we are in the shade, so I guess I'm not too surprised that it's charging so low. But it looks like it works, and I'll just maybe want to test it on another day when I'm not in the shade. I could move the van, but there's a car parked in front of me right now, and it's a whole thing. So, and it's evening, so I don't think the sun would be that great either. Yeah, so now what's left to do is attach the solar cable entry gland to the van. So bright. So good. Yeah, no, she can't even tell the difference between the tinned copper and aluminum. Like, I don't think she could steal this on if she wanted to.